song, The Witch is Dead. Welcome, welcome to Pole Position. I'm your host, Jacob Holmes, joined by my good friends, Valerie Morreale and Bryan Loomis. Welcome back, guys. Thank you for doing this with me again. And we are here to talk about the Golden Globes and how it affects our best picture predictions in particular. Um, but obviously, starting off the episode with a benediction for Wicked for Good, probably the
Womp
biggest
womp.
surprise of the morning, especially if you were following along live, which I was not. But if you scroll through the categories, I mean, Wicked for Good got 2 songs, an original song, and it was like, okay, I guess they really do like Wicked. They are kind of going old Globes with the more starry production. And then Cynthia Erivo missed at the Critics' Choice Awards Friday, but she got in on the Golden Globes, and so did Ariana Grande.
Mhm.
So it felt leading up to the category like Wicked for Good was going to make that cut, especially in a field of 6 for Best Musical Comedy, not competing against the dramas. So when Best Musical Comedy pops up and Wicked for Good is nowhere to be found, I think that spells trouble, obviously, but I honestly, I don't know if it has any chance to rise again. I think it might be done and gone. Was that y'all's main takeaway from your first look at
Yes.
the nominations?
Yeah, that and Avatar missing as well in drama is a sign that might be a little weaker and might not be a Best Picture nominee this year. So that was interesting to me as well.
Yeah.
But there's we for a long time people were talking about a lot of blockbusters in Best Picture, and we've still got Sinners in there that did well. And even though it's not a big box office, like Frankenstein feels like culturally it's been seen by a lot of people and is that big sort of more event movie type. So you've still got representation from the big like event movie um, movies in here. And so Avatar and Wicked missing, I think, is a real possibility for the Academy Awards as well.
Yeah, and I think there's probably a lot of excited cinephiles to see some of these big blockbusters that are, I mean, obviously Wicked for Good, not well received. Avatar, we don't have full reviews yet, but it's not looking like it's going to be super well received. And just seeing the Academy, or we're not to the Academy yet, but seeing the Globes even not fit those
Mhm.
into to a lineup of 12, um, is probably refreshing for a lot of people. Val, we were just talking before we recorded, but people don't realize this, that you and I recorded a discussion early in the season about Wicked for Good,
We did.
because you have seen the music, you have actually seen the Broadway show. Um,
I have not actually seen it like on tour. I'm very familiar with the show. I went to music school, so I haven't actually sat down and
okay,
like seen the entire show from start to finish, but I kind of feel like I have, if that makes sense.
gotcha.
Um, but I remember when we were talking about it, I sort of felt cautious about the second half because I knew how messy the second half
Mhm.
was in terms of the musical, and I knew that they were going to make efforts to fix it. And at one point I was a little bit more optimistic about it. I think even the last time we talked I was. But like then the reviews started to come out and I was like, "Oh no." Okay, so this is they didn't really fix it. Um and so yeah, I guess I was sort of right about that, but I don't think I was the only one thinking that people who'd seen the show.
Yeah, going into the season, my bet on Wicked for Good was that they were going to. I didn't know. I haven't seen the show, so I knew some plot elements, but I didn't know exactly how they were incorporated. But with the extra runtime and the extra um, understanding of how messy that second act is, and a chance to maybe correct it, I thought they were going to course correct at least enough
Mm.
to kind of be more like in line with the first movie. And I think if they had done that, they would be in a different position today. but obviously the movie came out and really didn't seem to fix any of those issues. um, it's very messy from a character development standpoint, in particular. The arcs are really difficult, even though the performances, and we'll talk about the performances in a minute. I think the two main performances remain pretty strong, um, even though they're not delivering as much of a good script either.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I think Arrivo and Grande are still putting on great performances, kind of despite. But I mean, I'm not going to spoil Wicked for Good here, but I think that like just the incorporation of a lot of the Wizard of Oz elements is pretty messy, just from a story perspective. It like when I first became aware of the story, I kind of thought it was a joke. And maybe that's a little harsh, but I was like, this feels like Wizard of Oz fan fiction a little bit in just like how these elements are sort of hamstrung in there to be like, well, we've got to check this box and include this character. And I think the movie is doing probably based on what I've heard from my friends who've seen it, the best it can with what it is, what the source material is. But I don't think it can save the story from itself, even with like really good performances and direction.
Yeah, I think that's my takeaway as well. And honestly, when the Critics' Choice Awards came out Friday and Arrivo missed, in fact, I wrote a poll position before the Golden Globes came out that kind of speaks to this. Um, Arriva missed, but Wicked for Good made the best film 10. It made the 10 at the National Board of Review and American Film Institute. So it was kind of doing okay. And my position on Wicked for Good was going to be that it's kind of swapped places with Frankenstein, where Frankenstein now is the more sure thing. And Wicked is kind of getting boosted into Best Picture because of all the technical nominations that it's going to get.
Mhm.
But now it seems like Wicked for Good is going to miss out on picture, even though it will still probably get several tech noms and one or two acting noms. We're probably trending towards one at this point. Brian, what are you expecting now from Wicked for Good at the Oscars outside of missing Best Picture? You expecting it to slip in other areas?
Um, no, I think most of the technical stuff should be fine. Pretty similar to what it did last year in the technicals, Arrivo Grande. I think my takeaway overall on the Globe nominations and Wicked as a symptom of this is the Globes are just not really all that different from the Academy Awards anymore. They just have like more nominations and slightly different categories, but their taste is not all that different. It used to be like the big celebrity stuff, but now you've got like four international movies getting into the 12 and like all of this Oscarsy stuff to where it doesn't even really have its own unique identity anymore. And so that I don't know, it's sort of
Well, it's
I don't
weird
know, it's sort
because
of
it's very similar to the Oscars, and then there's still like elements, there's still nominations where you get like, wow, that's the old Globes, like celebrity um stuff.
the
Nominations.
only one that stood out to me was Emily Blunt getting nominated was like, oh, okay, that feels
Yeah,
like classic, like Globesy stuff.
that
But a
for
lot of it
sure.
is just there's so many categories to nominate in.
Mhm.
You've got 18 actors, 18 actresses compared to 10 each
Yeah,
at the
absolutely.
Academy Awards. So just more people can get in. Um,
So and you have the 12 films. So let's go switch over to Avatar. Obviously, anyone who was paying attention to the Critics' Choice Awards Friday, they also really did not vote for Avatar. Avatar got nothing but a VFX nomination at the Critics' Choice Awards.
Wow.
And
Woof.
last year the Critics' Choice Awards put James Cameron in director. Um, they had several nominations for Way of Water. Now there is the problem of so Critics' Choice ballots were technically open and able to be turned in before they got a screening on December 1st. but the feeling in the room seems to be that a lot of critics did hold out to see that screening before turning in their ballots, and it just, I mean, obviously some people didn't see it, but obviously the critics that did see it and held out didn't do enough to get it in. And then the Golden Globes, I don't know, to what level the Golden Globes members have gotten to see Avatar. That could also play a small role. But whether it's a movie problem or kind of a campaign timing problem, I don't think Avatar is strong enough to survive missing these early precursors. I don't think it's the kind of movie that can
Yeah.
rebound once more people see it. Um, I mean, do you think Avatar has just come out and immediately dead?
I was surprised.
Well,
Oh, sorry.
it's still got box office, so it's going to do well. It's going to have people talking about it. Maybe. I mean, Avatar and the narrative around Way of Water was that everybody went to go see it and then immediately forgot it, which I don't know is entirely true, but it didn't, live on in the culture the same way maybe the first one did. Um, so yeah, I think the problem here is when you miss a nomination at the Globes, that signals to voters that it's not a serious contender, first of all, and it also signals to distributors that maybe they should focus their attention elsewhere and look for some other places to get nominations, other movies. And so yeah, you can see things like, oh, okay, well, we didn't get in for this one, but we're going to get in for this one, and so we'll really put all of our campaigning money here. And so it turns into a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy of once you start missing things, the campaign sort of fizzles out.
Val, were you surprised at all to see this result for Avatar, or was this kind of what you were expecting?
I could think I was a little surprised, but I was also when I was looking into this on Reddit earlier today, a lot of people seem surprised that it was at box office, especially because it hasn't come out yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand the idea of like, look, the last one made a lot of money, this one's going to make a lot of money too, but I mean, we don't necessarily know that. I mean, they're making a educated gamble. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. It's a
it could,
ridiculous
but a lot of other
category.
great movies are coming out that same because it's Christmas Day, right? For Fire and Ash.
No, it's coming out 1 week
Ye-
before.
Oh, okay. I was gonna
Yeah.
say because like Hamnet's coming out Christmas Day, No Other Choice is Christmas Day, so I was like, it's got some stiff competition, but yeah, if it's coming out the week
Mhm.
before, it'll actually probably be fine.
The
So
cinematic and box office achievement thing is just so
stupid. It's a trash
like, what are
category.
they trying to award there?
Like, let's
And
award the Taylor
K-pop,
Swift Eras Tour movie, I guess. Like,
yeah.
what are we even doing?
Well,
Like,
The
it's
for
pointless.
me, the K-pop Demon Hunters getting in is, and I like K-pop Hunters, but like, what are you even trying to signal with that award
Well,
anymore?
that
Then, because they
award
did
yeah,
like that stunt thing
that
with it
yeah,
in theaters after it did well in Netflix, but
and yet
that's
Netflix
supposed
didn't
to
do
be the
that for Glass
like weird,
Onion.
yeah, that's supposed to be the we're so happy that movies are in theaters and making money award, and you're giving it to a Netflix thing that premiered on Netflix. It's so
Yeah,
ridiculous to
well, here's the
yeah, and
problem.
Netflix is so anti-theater too. I mean,
Yeah,
me. Yeah.
it's yeah,
yeah. Here's the problem too is that there's no reason to have an award for box office performance. They already have an award for that. It's called money.
Yeah.
That's the point. You've already made all
where's
the
the lie?
money. So I guess what they're trying to get at is some kind of like level of cultural impact, but they're pop culture impact, but they don't really. That's not what it's called. Maybe they need to call it the Pop Culture Impact Award. Something else other than box office achievement, because that's kind of it's also very statistical. I mean, why didn't Lilo and Stitch make it in? It made more money than
Yeah.
it's such a weird category. It makes no sense. Um, we're gonna
Yeah,
keep talking about. I think the Golden Globes are more helpful for determining what will miss than they are for make what will make it because they have so many
mm,
slots. So we're gonna keep on going on the what will miss trade train before we get on to some highlights that maybe show some strength for some films. Um, the next film up that I'm worried about, I don't I haven't seen it yet, so I don't personally care. But Jay Kelly, Jay Kelly
Yeah, almost nothing.
is in major trouble because yes, it got a nomination for George Clooney, but that's in that group of 12, right? So he was in a field of six in comedy musical. Um, and then Sandler got in supporting actor, but I think, common idea is that he's fifth or sixth. So both of those guys could easily be getting in the Golden Globes, just because of the nature of how many slots there are, and could both miss at the Oscars easily. Um, the big problem is Jay Kelly missed in a field of six movies for musical and comedy to the two Linklater movies. Richard Linklater getting two movies in Best Comedy and
Yeah.
Musical, Blue Moon
Mhm.
and Nouvelle Vague, which is crazy. Um, and you can maybe make a case that Blue Moon now is actually closer to Best Picture than Jay Kelly. I don't think Nouvelle Vague is really that close to Best Picture. So for Jay
Mm.
Kelly to miss, and that same with Wicked, those two missing in musical comedy field is like poison. It's really bad.
Yeah.
And I already thought Jay Kelly, coming out of Critics' Choice Awards, I thought Jay Kelly, Bugonia, and Wicked were all kind of in the same boat. They got one of their two actors in, and one missed, and then and so I felt like they were kind of all three in the balance there. And Jay Kelly comes Jay Kelly comes in and misses musical comedy, where Bugonia does make the cut. So I think Bugonia now has pulled ahead of Jay Kelly in my regards. What's your takeaway, Brian, on Jay Kelly?
Yeah, it's rough that, the Nouvelle Vague getting in and that being a Netflix movie. Like you said, I don't think it's necessarily running ahead for an Academy Award, but that does signal to Netflix maybe that Jay Kelly is not worth really pushing in that category. I think it'll get some acting nominations, and that's it at this point. So
Val, have you been looking forward to Jay Kelly? It's on Netflix now, so everybody has an opportunity to see it.
I haven't
Oh,
gotten a chance to see it yet. Yeah,
I haven't
I
I
seen
have
want
it
to check
either.
it
not
out.
seen it yet. I'll probably watch it, but I mean, yeah, notably absent aside from George Clooney, so I do think it's not in the big races. But I mean, I'm still looking forward to seeing it. I'll still go in with an open mind. Maybe it'll do good in the Saw Awards. Who knows?
Well, so tracking along with Netflix, since we're talking about Netflix, another one to look at here from the Golden Globes is Train Dreams. So Train Dreams actually had a
Hmm.
pretty good week leading up to the Golden Globes. It actually won Best Cinematography at LA Film Critics.
Hmm.
Joel Edgerton has been getting in pretty consistently. Train Dreams made the AFI and the NBR Best Films and the CCA Best
Mhm.
Films. So it's doing well. It did miss out in drama here,
Hmm.
but I think drama was stronger, and the Golden Globes are a little more international than the Academy still, and so they did favor The Secret Agent. But I think Train Dreams is the next one in on that drama category. So I think it's a little bit of a hiccup, but it did get in song, and Joel Edgerton did get in drama actor. So I think it's a hiccup, but I think it still has a good tracking right now to still make the cut, especially since Wicked and Jay Kelly fell out so hard. Um, Val, have you been paying attention to Train Dreams at all? What are your thoughts?
I have, and I have a lot of friends who've seen it. I have not seen it yet. I have it as my number 10 currently, for predictions. I think it will squeak in there based on just the buzz around it and what I've been following, but I am excited to see it. I've heard really good things about it.
Mhm.
Brian, you've seen it.
I have.
You have a
Yes,
review of it
reviewed
on
it for the
Cinemaspace.
site. I
Yes.
think it's great. And I do think it could be a slow burn where it does get in as a nomination, and I'm not too concerned about it missing here at the Globes. I mean, all six of the drama nominees from the Globes could get in. You've still got four slots then. One bottle after another is taking another one. Marty Supreme's taking another one, but you still got slots left. And so, like you said, Jacob, that's a pretty stacked category already with movies that we know are going to get nominated. And so Train Dreams, I think it's and the thing about Train Dreams is people are still like critics are still excited about it who had seen it back in Sundance in January. And so there's like um this group of people that's really pushing for it is not it's not a fad, it's something that like this is really legitimately some critics favorite movie of the year, and they're passionate about it and are going to keep pushing people to see it. And I think the visibility is probably the problem for getting nominated here, but by the Oscars they may be able to overcome that.
And I think it's even playing better with general movie audiences, not like the general public. Most people don't know what Train Dreams is, but people who are into this, I think it's playing well. I mean, I think I think I saw maybe Duke watched it on Letterboxd and gave it a good review. So, you know, it seems to be fitting a lot of people's taste, and that's one of the things where it's a slower movie. You wonder if some people are going to
Yeah.
like write it off as boring, but it doesn't really seem like it's playing that way to me. Um,
No,
and also a
it's
big win for it was adapted screenplay at Critics' Choice, which is a good signal, I think, for it. So, um,
mhm.
I think Train Dreams has a very good shot to get in right now. Let's see, was there any other really bad misses at the Globes? I think that's it.
Yeah, I mean, you'd say The Testament of Anne Lee could have gotten in. I wouldn't call that dead yet, but it would have been a better signal, of course, if it had gotten a
Yeah,
nomination. Springsteen's dead. Springsteen's been dead, so
that's
no
been dead.
news there.
I would say the
Good
Testament
riddance.
of Anne Lee is limping heavily right now. It didn't get a lot of Critics' Choice awards either. Obviously, Amanda Seyfried
Yeah,
is carrying it right now, but we'll see if
still
it can.
needs to get a release.
That's
We'll see
true.
what happens when it gets released. Weapons not getting in. I think that's a tough beat
Yeah,
for it getting Best Picture nomination.
Yeah. I think Amy Madigan still has a good chance
Yeah,
though.
Amy Madigan is getting in. Weapons has a shot in screenplay. I don't know that it gets in, but it's going to be battling for the fifth spot. Sorry Baby got an original screenplay nomination at Critics' Choice, and Eva Victor got an actress nomination here. I mean, it's a field of 12, so take that for what it's worth. She's not obviously going to be at the Oscars, but maybe Sorry Baby gets a standalone original screenplay nomination at the Academy. That would be cool. But it could be Sorry Baby, it could be Weapons, it could still be Jay Kelly. It's something you have to keep your eye on.
Mhm.
Um, I was just thinking too. Um, Jesse Plemons got in at Best Actor, so that's a good sign for Begonia. Because he hasn't been making it in a lot of other places. I would love to see that in the Oscar Oscar lineup. Let's see. Oh, just a strange thing, Demon Slayer, but it's been such a weird year for
Apparently
animation.
it's doing well.
Yeah, it's great at the box
Yeah.
office.
What's the So if Demon Slayer is like the sixth one, are we just anointing Elio as a nomination? Like people didn't even really like Elio all that
Yeah,
much.
but
Like what? You've
it's
got four sort of strong ones for animation, and then we just always throw in the Pixar one. Why are we doing that?
well,
Doesn't
Yeah.
it's
make any
Pixar by
sense to me.
default this year because the next options are animes and In Your Dreams from
Yeah.
Netflix, and they're just not. Maybe you could argue for Bad Guys too, but it's just the way the season's shaping up. There's no
I mean, I
competition.
think there could have been an argument, and maybe this is just me, for Chainsaw Man Reze Arc, which made a lot of
Mhm.
money and got pretty good reviews. But I don't think that they wanted to put two anime movies in there.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's time. You know, these movies are doing well. Why can't we? And they're well liked and reviewed. Why do we have to put only, the kids' movies in, even if they're not good?
I
Yeah,
cannot
I don't
wait.
know.
I cannot wait to talk to you guys in March about the best animated feature race for 2026 because it is going to be way more fun. It's going to be really cool. There's like several animated movies that are like in my top 10 anticipated of the year. So um, it's
Ooh.
it's going to be much better. Um, Here's what I want to talk about next is a movie that is not falling out of Best Picture, but did have a little bit of a struggle at the Golden Globes. That's Marty Supreme. Marty Supreme really missed in several categories that you would think it could get into. Score,
Mhm.
it missed out
Mm.
for director. Josh Safdie's left out. That's a pretty big deal. While Guillermo del Toro got in, that doesn't mean Safdie's gone and out for the Oscar, but it's not a good harbinger. And then neither of the actresses got in. The supporting actresses, Gwyneth Paltrow or Odessa A'zion. So I'm looking at that. It's kind of hypocritical because this is applies a little bit to Avatar as well, and a little bit to maybe the Testament of Anne Lee, these other late releases. But I think I'm not sure how many of the critics at Golden Globes and Critics' Choice have actually seen Marty Supreme. It's obviously been it's obviously had a lot of screenings around, but it hasn't been released yet. And so I don't know if that movie is having problems with its actual reception or if it's more of a campaign problems. Which, by the way, when I realized I thought of that phrase earlier, and I'm like, that would be another great title for an Oscars podcast. Campaign
Yeah.
problems. So I think Marty Supreme can rebound as it actually releases and gets more eyes on it. But I mean, it's not great. It's not a great showing. Were you surprised at all, Brian, to see Marty Supreme perform the way it did?
Yeah, I have been a little bit of a doubter of like Safdie getting into director just because they I mean, Josh Safdie has made a lot of movies, but not a lot that have been nominated for Oscars. So he's new, sort of, to the Academy, and so sometimes you sort of underperform in nominations versus where you'd like to be for a movie of the caliber that Marty Supreme seems to be. So I think it could miss out in director. I think we got to see like what happens when it gets released in terms of the supporting actresses, because like think about when One Battle After Another got released, and like all the buzz was Sean Penn and Benicio was nowhere to be found, and then it released and the audience really grabbed a hold of like, we love Benicio, we love this role, it became memed, and so and that's really boosted, and now you might even say he's running in front of Sean Penn, which is based on some of these nominations and awards and things that have come out, which is really interesting. So I think you could see that. I think what it seems from the critics at this point like is that Odessa A'zion is sort of the standout performance, and so if people really like her, she's also in I Love LA right now, so people might be getting more familiar with her, and she could really have a moment here. So that could happen. We just need to, see when it gets released, because things being released, getting in front of audiences, even if uh, the voters have already seen these movies, there's so much conversation that's still going to happen when the public sees them that can really change things. So I don't think anything is dead. Um, in terms of those acting nominations, but I wouldn't be surprised if he misses on director. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think Marty Supreme has a really good chance to rebound. I wouldn't count it out on anything right now. I mean, I think we can count out maybe the idea of both supporting actresses getting in the five because that was bandied about. I think it's pretty clear the sentimental value girls have done really well this past week. Um,
Yeah.
Elle Fanning is getting in alongside Inga Ibstadter Lilius. Also, this week has kind of flipped. Anyone who was thinking Elle Fanning was more likely to get in because of being more of an American, well-known actress. Inga Ibsarter Lilius has been getting in more. Now, take it with a little bit of a grain of salt
Mm.
because critics are always more willing to go out on a limb for people, international people, whereas the industry is, a little bit more used to familiar faces. But Inga Lilius, there's been like a stamp. She's actually won a lot of supporting actress awards already in these precursors, so there's been a stamp for her. Rose Byrne gets in here in Best Actress for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. I think she was been one that's been in that fifth or sixth spot for a lot of us, and she has been had a stamp put on her. She's won more than Jessie Buckley, I think, so far in the precursors. Just and I think that's not because she's more likely to win, obviously, but I think it's because critics are wanting to make sure she gets in. It's one of those I want to make sure she gets in the Oscar, so I'm going to vote for her to win. And I saw a clip of her performance, and she is great in the clip that I saw. I haven't been able to see the full movie. Um, Wumi Masaku, Val, I know you'll be excited about that. Wumi
Yeah.
Masaku has been selected by critics as their push from Sinners, even more so than either of the supporting actor candidates, Delroy Lindo and Miles Caton. Neither of them have shown up really anywhere except for Miles Caton won one in like Michigan or something. But Wunmi Misako has
God
been
bless
showing
you, Michigan.
up.
Mm.
I know that video that just came out today, Bryan, with Bryan was
Okay.
with
Yeah.
Miles Caton to make the top five. So,
He had my
um,
fifth slot. Yeah.
but Val and Ramona both were on our supporting actress video rooting for Wumi Masaku. I didn't see it happening at that time.
Mm.
I thought she was maybe in the seventh slot, but she's really but she missed today at Golden Globes. So but Emily Blunt got in, so she could still be in that fifth or sixth spot depending on how these Marty Supreme actresses heat up. So it's all worth watching. Another interesting thing, Brian, and you've seen this movie, whereas most of us haven't. Surratt got a couple of nods in score, and in international film. I'm especially excited to ask you about the score, Brian. Is that one where it's like that's a really cool pick? Is the score in Surratt as awesome
It's
as
pretty cool. Yeah, it's a pretty cool pick. You've got some like um, sort of live music as part of the film. You know, it starts at a rave, but then they sort of go on this journey, and yeah, it's a really good score. It really connects to the film's emotions in a way that works well for it. And yeah, the international getting in that makes 5 out of the 6 international features neon releases, which I doubt that's ever happened before. But neon is just dominating the international categories these days, so it makes sense.
and obviously something to look out for now in your best picture lineups is The Secret Agent, which got into the field of best drama, best international film. Wagner Moura very well could win the trophy for best drama actor here at the Globes, with his only competition really being Michael B. Jordan and Joel Edgerton. Probably so, everybody's kind of predicting Moura to win that, just like Fernanda Torres won Best Actress last year. So that's something to look forward to. I think we can shift now and talk a little bit about our updated Best Picture predictions. Talk about some of these juggernauts that we've been glazing over because we already know so much about them. But one battle after another is running away. I don't. I think a lot of these precursors that are this early before Critics' Choice and Golden Globes awards. You have to take it with a grain of salt, but with that said, I think it does say something that One Battle After Another is winning Best Film at just about all of
Yeah.
them. The fact that none
It's
of them,
undeniable. Yeah,
it's
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 undeniable at this point.
it's.
It's
I don't think
for
it's
sure the front
stoppable.
runner. Yep.
There, I did get to see Hamnet.
Uh, Anything can happen. You've got a lot of narratives. I mean, the thing that happened to Amelia Perez last year, we don't know that One Battle After Another is vulnerable like that, but there has been some criticism. Maybe it gets louder now that it's clear that it's like the real front runner. Oscars
And
campaigns can get dirty.
speaking of Sean Penn, he's a bit of a wild card. He's already had his Actors on Actors with Julia Roberts had people kind of like, this guy, I don't know. He might sabotage his own campaign. It could also maybe affect One Battle, but it's so strong. It seems like it's going to
Hmm.
win to the point where. So I did get to see Hamnet last week. I do prefer Hamnet to One Battle. Personally, I will be rooting for Hamnet this season to win Best Picture and give Paul Thomas Anderson Best Director. But I have moved off of my actual prediction for Hamnet to One Battle After Another because right now it seems like Hamnet is just getting a little bit of, maybe in some places almost like hate, although a lot of people seem to love it. There is some blowback to it now for some reason. And also it feels like it's not even second place at most of these awards. It feels like most places are really putting Sinners in that runner-up spot. Um, so you know, do you, all three of you have all not all three of you, all two of you, and myself? Do we all three have One Battle After Another at number one?
Yes.
I'm checking to
Okay.
see if it's still at number one. It's definitely in the top three. I may have not updated it, but it really should be at number one. And if it's not, I think it's kind of between that and Hamnet for me.
Y'all haven't seen Hamnet, have you?
If
Nope.
not, I want to go see it.
It just
I've
got here this weekend, but my wife wants to read the book first, so we are waiting. So
read
maybe this
fast,
weekend if she gets to the book first. Yeah,
read quickly. Um,
that's what I'm telling her. Yeah.
I'm very interested to know. I'm just very interested to know what other screenagers think. So I'm excited to see, because it could still win a Screen Age Wasteland Award, which we might talk about on this channel next month. So, but yes, Oscar, One Battle After Another, clearly the front runner right now. I think everybody knows it. It's not really a question. I still have, well, actually, no, I moved Sinners to number two on my list for right now, just on the strength of these recent picks. It's I think it's still kind of hairline between Sinners and Hamnet for me, but I moved Sinners up. I don't think Coogler is as in danger of missing director anymore. Just on the strength of these. I never had him out of my five, but I think he's showing that the film is strong enough. He'll probably get in. Y'all have Sinners on your list?
Yeah.
Yes. It's my 4.
I'm guessing
Sinners
those
is
four.
number three.
I'm guessing those three or four are probably pretty close. Um, I have Hamnet.
Yeah.
I have Hamnet at three. Do y'all both have Hamnet high up as
Yep.
well?
Yeah.
2.
Two, and then sentimental value. I know, Brian, that you kind of been on the sentimental value train a little bit. Is
Ooh.
it still in the top four for you?
Well, so it is not anymore. I've flipped it because a lot of these nominations have sort of favored it was just an accident. And I think that might get a slightly bigger push now from Neon. I haven't seen Sentimental Value yet, but there's been a little bit of like, is this trying too hard discourse around it? Um, I haven't seen it, so I can't say. But it was just an accident, continues to overperform. So I have that flip now. That's my number 3 now. And Sentimental
Wow.
Value is at 6.
Val, do you have sentimental value on your list?
I do. I have it at 5. I'm literally updating my thing with my thoughts on my awards expert. I have both sentimental value and it was just an accident. I haven't been following it was just an accident as closely, but I've been hearing a lot of good things still about sentimental value. So they're both
Mhm.
still on there, but it was just an accident a little bit lower.
I mean, I think it's 6 of one, half a dozen of another because they're both really solidly to get in. Sentimental value, it did have some maybe worrying moments in the past week, but it's been getting 4 acting nominations so many places. It kind of
Yeah.
bolsters the strength, and especially it performed really well at the Globes. Um, so, I kind of feel, but yeah, no, it was just an accident, obviously on my list as well. I think
Mhm.
I currently have it at number 6 or 7. I should pull up my award expert app as well. Um, because
Mhm.
I still do have Marty Supreme in my top 5. I have It Was Just an Accident at 6, and I have Marty Supreme at 5. Y'all both have Marty Supreme.
Mhm.
Mm,
So I
Um,
think we've gotten most of the locks. There's one more that we haven't said yet.
there's one more
yeah.
lock. That's true.
Yeah.
7 locks and 3 open spots that are just
That's
like
what it
5 or
feels
6.
like.
A
Yeah.
handful fighting for 3 spots. And the 7th lock is Val, do you know the 7th
Frankenstein.
lock? Frankenstein. Do you have
Yeah.
Frankenstein, Val?
I do. Yeah, I have Frankenstein.
What a wild course that Frankenstein has had on pole position. My
I
preseason
know.
front runner looked like it was going to fall out after the initial festival reactions. With a rebound when it hit streaming, and now comfortably a lock. It's crazy. Uh, I still
Mhm.
remember when we were like, "Is it going to be Frankenstein, Jay Kelly, or House of Dynamite?" And here we
Mhm.
Oh,
are.
House of Dynamite.
Yes, that was a time.
Uh, yeah, that movie was dead on arrival.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Venice loved it though. It was wild. Yeah. I
Interesting.
don't know what
Yeah.
they saw in it.
Yeah, I really did not like it. I was
Mm.
very turned off to it immediately, and it seems like that was not an uncommon reaction.
I've only seen a third of it.
Jacob, he's only seen the first third, and he enjoyed, which is understandable.
Yeah,
The
that
first
that
third,
makes
very
complete
enjoyable.
sense.
That's the
First third,
point
I
at
was
which to
riveted. I
stop.
was
Yeah.
so interested, and then yeah.
That's a great short film. I don't understand
So
what y'all
you,
talking about.
yeah.
Um, uh, okay, so here's where it gets interesting, and you can have these in so many different orders. But at my number 8,
Mm.
I've now come around to, I think Train Dreams is number 8 for
Ooh,
me.
I also have Train Dreams, but I have it at number 10.
I do
That's
not have train dreams, but I would love to see it on
well,
there.
there we
Yeah.
go. So it's funny. Bryan is the only one that's seen Train Dreams. He's had a pretty glowing review for it. Um, I'm excited to see it. The cinematography looks beautiful. It looks like my jam. It's one of those where I got to be in the right space. Make sure I'm not distracted. I forgot to introduce this guy at the beginning of the video and the other video that he's hanging out in. This is Percy. He's a
Hey,
troublemaker.
Percy.
He just knocked off some like Legos on top. This used to be like a room where I would display pop culture stuff, and he's recently had to be in here a lot, and so he's made it his toy room where he throws all my pop culture stuff around. He hasn't broken too many things. The joys of cat cat ownership. Um, so yeah, Train Dreams has been gaining so much steam. Even before these precursors, you heard some pundits saying like, "Watch out, this is starting to gain steam," and then it's showing up at these precursors. I won't feel really safe about it until we get into more legitimate precursors like WGA, PGA, things like that, that actually have a little more sway. See how it performs at SAG, how actors really perform to it. So yeah, but for now I have it at 8. So me and Val have it in. Bryan doesn't have it in. Bryan, what do you have at 8?
I have the secret agent in at 8
Okay.
at this point. So
Wow.
yeah, I'm
Okay.
predicting that to
So
get in.
You have 3 Neon films in for sure
Three
right now.
neon films in. Yep.
Val, do you have the secret agent in your 10 right now?
I don't right now. I have only heard a little bit about the secret agent. So when it kind of gets down to my last like 3 or so, it's kind of ones that I'm either not sure about or I haven't heard much about. So that one has not made it into my top 10.
I don't have the secret agent. I do have 3 Neon films. I don't think Neon can get 4 films in. Neon has
No,
only
no.
Neon has only had 4 films in Best Picture in the past decade. It would be so wild for them to get 4 in this single year, and they are so close to it. I mean, they are close,
Yeah,
but there's enough
Mhm.
it
competition. I
could
think
happen.
Netflix gets 2 in, and I think Neon gets 3 in, and then Netflix either
Yeah.
gets a third in or you get a little bit of a wild card. So my option that I have in from Neon is No Other Choice.
That's
Val,
also what I have for my
Yeah.
third neon.
No Other Choice had a big day for the Globes. It showed up.
Mm.
Lee Byung Hun showed up in Best Actor for comedy. It did not get in screenplay because Golden Globes only has 6 slots for green screenplays. That's not that's kind of expected, but obviously it showed up in international and it showed up in Best Comedy. So um, both the secret. That's the problem with the Globes is it gave us all 4 Neon movies and the best films out of 12, so you can't
Mm.
narrow it down. The Secret Agent
Hmm.
Yeah.
definitely could come up, and No Other Choice could be jilted. Park Chan Wook could be jilted once again, but it's just something we're going to have to wait and see. Val, what is your other entry in your 10?
Oh, geez, what one did we miss?
You have
Begonia's still in there. I think it's the
Bugonia.
only one we didn't talk about. I still have Begonia in my top 10.
I do as well. It's a number 9 for me.
well, that makes me so happy. I have Begonia in as well. The Golden Globes did a lot to strengthen the resolve there because they did slip it into comedy, and they did kind of say this is stronger than Jay Kelly. Um, that could always change, but I think Emma Stone is getting into Best Actress, and I think it has a really good shot at adapted screenplay. And with that in mind, I'm like, that's enough. Jesse Plemons is really close on the Best Actor race. I think that's enough to get it in, and we're running out of movies to fill the slots. And
Mm.
Mhm.
so compared to like Jay Kelly, Wicked for Good or Avatar, I definitely think Begonia is the one to get in. So
It benefits a lot from Avatar and Wicked, yeah, sort of falling out here.
absolutely,
Of
yeah,
it's just it was in that like 11, 12 range where it just sort of gets in there now.
it needed that. So
Hmm.
Val and I, Val and I have no other choice in Begonia and Train Dreams. So we Val and I have the exact same 10.
Yeah.
Brian, you have Secret Agent Begonia and what else?
What is my number 10? So I
Oh,
teased that I was going to have a crazy number 10. I
you
can no
did. I'm so
longer
excited.
I'll tell you what it was. I can no longer, in good conscience, have it in after the Globes nominations. It was gonna be. I was gonna have Bugonia out, and Focus's other entrant for me was gonna be Song Sung Blue.
Oh, okay.
But if it didn't get in for the Globes, I don't think it's going to happen. The Path is like, it does really well at the box office. It does like a Greatest Showman thing at the box office. People love Hugh Jackman. They're going to see it to see if Kate Hudson needs to be nominated, and then it gets in here. The thing I was seeing as Jacob, you were posting, like, what a great, slate of movies is like, there's always some bullshit that the Oscars tries to throw in there, and we don't have a whole lot of old people movies in the slate right now. Like maybe you've seen Hamnet, so you'd know if Hamnet is an old person movie. It sort of strikes me as something that play a little better with older people
It would
or
definitely
that
work for it, yeah.
traditional drama category. But like Bugonia is not,
Marty Supreme is
Sinners,
definitely
One
not.
Battle After Another, Marty Supreme is very like more film bro heavy. So I did still put an old person movie in at number 10, but I'm going with Blue Moon, which did get a Globes nomination here. And I saw it in a theater full of old people, and they were loving it. And so I think it'll play well. People are going to see it for Ethan Hawke, and so it'll get widely seen. And I think it could get in at number 10 here. Sony doesn't really have uh, anything else to run in Best Picture, so makes sense to me that they could sneak it in here.
Well, in
I
defense
gotta
of
say
Blue,
though,
go ahead, Val.
sorry, I was gonna make a funny comment. The old people at my church loved Sinners, so do with that what you will.
Oh, okay.
That is really fun. Um, in defense of Blue Moon, also Andrew Scott got a Best Supporting Actor slot.
Mm,
I don't know if it was at Critics' Choice or LA Film Critics. Somewhere Andrew Scott got recognized as the Best Supporting Actor, which is kind of wild.
interesting.
So,
Yeah,
um, yeah.
he's
So
really good in it. He should, yeah, he should be getting more buzz for that performance. It's a very good performance.
Blue Moon is Sony. It's a Sony Pictures classic movie, and they may pivot and really focus on that, trying to get that more attention as Oscar season goes on. Ethan Hawke, I tell you, a lot of people think Ethan Hawke is win competitive and Best Actor, and I don't know if he really is. I'm still firmly believing that Timothy Chalamet is going to block out everybody once that movie gets released and people actually see it. But I think we have some interesting narratives now. Leonardo DiCaprio, a lot of people are pushing him kind of hard. Then you have Wagner Moura and the Brazilian contingent that wants him to win so bad. And then you have Ethan Hawke, who maybe is trending somewhat with the industry, and it's a transformative
Yeah,
role. So I think you could have some interesting, but I think at the end of the day, it's probably going to end up being Chalamet. But still, some interesting races. And supporting
it's a
actresses.
race. Yeah, it's definitely a race. It's not Timmy's for sure. You
Yeah,
know.
not yeah, no, and I really clamped down hard. The supporting actress race is wide open now. I still think Ariana Grande could win that, but I think Amy Madigan could win that. I think maybe Inga Lilius could win it. She's getting some stuff. Um, you know, Teyana
Teyana
Taylor
Taylor could win
could
it.
win it.
Yeah.
Um, I'm stumping to have Chase Infinity in supporting actress for the Saw Awards. Um, I would like for her to be in her appropriate category for us. but but anyway, so it's gonna be a fun time. Looking back, I don't know. I don't actually have Val's picks from earlier this season. But I know for myself, I am struggling. I set a goal last season. I had 30% accuracy in my first predictions, and my goal was to get 50% accuracy this time. And if it pans out the way I think it is, I'll be right back at 30%. So it's kind of disappointing on the one hand, but also kind of exciting because I think the crop of films, like I'm glad. I mean, I predicted Springsteen, so I'm glad that's out. The way Wicked for Good turned out, and the way it sounds like Avatar turned out, I'm kind of glad that we're getting more interesting films in there. But from the sake of my predictions, it's kind of sad, and I specifically turned away from doing more obvious picks like Marty Supreme and Sentimental Value, and that's really bit me in the butt because obviously we're sitting here talking about those films. Um, Brian, do you have any idea how you're doing compared to? I know you had Springsteen and Michael, so those are both out, but I know you had
Yeah.
Sentimental Value, so
I want to say I have three that are still doing pretty well: Sentimental Value, One Battle, and Bugonia. Maybe had Frankenstein in, can't quite remember. But it's a silly thing to do to predict Oscars before anyone's seen the movies. So, you know, it doesn't bother me.
yeah, it's there's no even the professionals are often like just as wrong. So it's not like it's just a point of pride if you can really call it, get some psychic powers out there. Um, Thanks guys for joining me. Um, More Wars Chaos to come. We're also still releasing some of these other videos, um, like best screenplay, already been recorded with Bryan and Raph, adapted and original and director. Those are all coming. But we took some time out to specifically address these globes and all these awards from last week because you just can't ignore that. That is too big of a stuff going on. Um, and we are about to record one of those other episodes right now that you will see at a later week. We're going to talk about the techs, talk about the tech categories in the light of everything that's happened, and we will catch you next time in the wasteland.